Greetings, how are you all? Today we will explore some potential surprises regarding the Raiders roster cuts following the 2025 NFL Draft. This analysis is a tradition of mine, and I typically highlight names that could shock fans if released. I've received feedback on whether these choices truly qualify as unexpected cuts, but I want to emphasize that my considerations here are based on honest evaluations. While not every speculation comes to pass, some predictions do end up unfolding. In reality, I recall that last season I mentioned a player who, despite having just signed, might be cut, and only days later he was indeed released. That underscores the importance of staying up to date. The format for today will present 5 names that, after the draft, could surprise the fan base if they were cut, because the timing would be so unexpected. I've ranked these names from least to most surprising with respect to a potential release. Starting at number 5, we have Zamir White. For some, this might come as a surprise. For others, perhaps not. Personally, I believe he has the talent to stick in the NFL, but I'm not sure that he wants or can remain on this roster. Drafted in the 4th round of 2022, he still has 1 year left on his contract. His cap hit is currently $1.29 million. If the team chose to release him, they'd save just over $1 million, though they would incur a $186,000 dead cap charge. Moreover, the team invested a 1st-round pick in Ashton Gentry. And while I don't mean to slight White, I don't see the advantages he brings compared to the higher upside Gentry. The Raiders also brought back Raheem Mostert as they're known. 2 back, and Sincere McCormick made significant strides last season. That raises real questions about White's future here, especially since he doesn't contribute on special teams. That if he could add value in that phase, like others might, it would bolster the case for retaining him. As it stands, I think a parting this offseason might make sense for both sides. Moving on to the 4th name, we have Charles Snowden, the Raiders defensive end. He makes this list based on his on-field production last season and an off-field legal issue, a DUI incident from July. If the team cuts him, they'd save $960,000 against the cap. The Raiders re-signed Malcolm Kuhn and then drafted 2 versatile defensive tackles too. Although Snowden cemented his roster spot last year, logging 39 tackles and 1.5 sacks, he was one of the most admired players in last offseason's locker room, given his leadership. However, considering the new direction of the franchise, I would have strongly supported keeping him had it not been for those off-field issues. As someone in a leadership position, I would rather distance the team from any negativity tied to the previous regime. Unfortunately, Snowden is associated with that troubled period. If it were up to me, the last thing I'd want on the eve of training camp is unwanted headlines. Personal preference aside, I know many of you enjoy commenting on who might be the surprise cut after the draft. So please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments. I appreciate the engagement and the chance to share my perspective. At this point, you'll see a brief ad break. In the meantime, scroll down and let me know your answers. Now onto the 3rd name on our list of potential post-draft cuts, Munford. I recently released a video laying out my 53-man roster projections. Depending on when you watch that, I'm not sure of its release date, but Munford was highlighted in the analysis. That said, if the Raiders plan to keep 8 offensive linemen or bring in another blocker to challenge Munford's spot, I'd argue there are already 8 linemen I trust for my 53-man roster, barring injury. He was a 7th-round pick in 2022 and is in the final year of his deal. The Raiders spent 2 third-round picks on Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant at the line too. They also showed faith in DJ Glaze by declining to bring back Armand Mew. And coaching staff reported positive feedback on Glaze. All these factors create an intriguing situation. Munford struggled last season. I expected growth, but when he moved to left guard after Colt Miller's injury, he faltered. Shifting to the right side didn't help. I've always thought of Munford as more of a guard than a tackle. Maybe that's his ticket to sticking around, but if it were my call, I'd cut him and redeploy those resources more efficiently. On the other hand, if the intention is to keep 9 linemen, I don't see that as a disastrous strategy. Another point I want to share is my hope that Ashton Gentry's rookie jersey becomes the NFL's top seller. He's currently 4th, trailing Shador, Cam Ward, and Travis Hunter. If you're eyeing a Gentry jersey, head to chatsports.com Raiders jerseys or directly to chatsports.com Gentry. Pick whichever is easier to remember. If you already think you have a Gentry jersey, since many were distributed during draft coverage, go to chatsports.com jerseys and you'll see options for Bowers, Jacoby Myers, or Max Crosby, among others. For true Gentry fans, chatsports.com Gentry is your best bet. Links will be in the comments and the description of today's video. Feeling lucky in Vegas? We're holding a Gentry jersey giveaway. Just toss in a $5 contribution or super chat and you're entered. The winner will be announced on Friday, May 30th. Good luck to everyone aiming for a Gentry jersey. Now onto the second name on our list, Leki Fotu, a defensive player. I'm aware that the Raiders signed Fotu this offseason, but signing doesn't guarantee a roster spot. Admittedly, cutting him might seem illogical to some, yet anyone who thinks an NFL franchise cares about saving $568,000 clearly hasn't. Follow the league closely. The Raiders used a 4th-round pick on Tonka Hemingway at number 135 and then grabbed J.J. Pagas in the 6th round at number 180. While neither of those defensive picks may have Fotu's profile, they offer impressive versatility. Let's not forget undrafted free agent Anthony Booker or their international program signing Leki Fotu, a 350-pound specimen. Rookie John Ulu might need to add 10 to 15 pounds if coaches like what they see in him. Keep an eye on Leki Fotu. His roster status is far from guaranteed. Finally, the most surprising candidate, Dylan Laube. Some say his release wouldn't be so unexpected. It depends who you ask, and there's merit to both perspectives. With a cap hit of $999,000, cutting him nets $882,000 in savings. It's hardly a massive cost to bear. The team has Gentry, Mostert, and McCormick at running back. If it were my call during this video, I'd keep those 3 and maybe one more. I don't see a place for Zamir White here. Would you keep Chris Collier? Maybe. Conroy, the undrafted hybrid fullback to tight end? Perhaps. Laube, who totaled just 1 carry last season and had a fumble. The only reason he might stick is special teams. Value. There was a recent Raiders Report interview with Tommy Malone, you can find it online, where he spoke about his bond with the special teams coach. Relationships matter in this organization, and Malone worked with Laube this offseason. If you ask me, Laube's biggest role this year may be on special teams. The Raiders also drafted 3 receivers, Jack Bash, Dante Dorton Jr., and Mallow, hinting that Trey Tucker could join special teams too, so I just can't see where Laube fits. That said, I know he visited another team at last year's pre-combine, so there's at least a small connection out there. When a 6th-round pick goes just 1 year on the roster, he truly earns the surprise cut label. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Davante Adams, one of the NFL's most talented and recognized wide receivers, has recently opened up about a decision that still haunts him. The 31-year-old star admitted to making a mistake when he left the Green Bay Packers to join the Las Vegas Raiders in 2022. In an emotional interview, Adams revealed that he regrets his move to the Raiders and has regretted it every day since making the decision. For years, Adams was the centerpiece of the Packers' offense, developing an incredible chemistry with legendary quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Together, they formed one of the most lethal duos in the NFL, propelling Green Bay to multiple playoff appearances and earning Adams numerous accolades, including Pro Bowl selections and first-team All-Pro honors. But in March 2022, he shocked the NFL world by requesting a trade to the Raiders, citing personal reasons, including a desire to return to his home state of California, where he had grown up and played college football at Fresno State. Now, after a tumultuous 2 seasons with the Raiders, Adams has expressed deep regret. In the interview, he acknowledged that he made the move in search of something different, but it hasn't panned out the way he envisioned. The Raiders, although competitive, have not been able to provide Adams with the stability and success he had grown accustomed to in Green Bay. Despite strong individual performances, including impressive receiving yard totals and touchdowns, the team's inconsistent play and lack of playoff success have left Adams disillusioned. Reflecting on his time with the Packers, Adams admits that his bond with Rodgers was a significant factor in his decision to stay in Green Bay. Their on-field rapport was unparalleled, and Adams has since realized how special their connection truly was. "I miss playing with Aaron," he said. "It was the best time of my career." The connection between quarterback and receiver was one of the most consistent in the NFL, and it allowed Adams to thrive as one of the top pass catchers in the AEA league. Now, with the Raiders' future uncertain and Adams in the prime of his career, he finds himself contemplating what might have been. While the decision to leave Green Bay was driven by personal desires, Adams admits that he may have been named too hasty in leaving a winning situation. In hindsight, he says, the allure of a fresh start and playing closer to home wasn't enough to outweigh the stability, success, and camaraderie he had in Green Bay. Despite his regrets, Adams has refused to let his past mistakes define his career. He remains a top-tier receiver in the NFL, continuing to put up solid numbers and perform at a high level. However, the journey has been more challenging than he expected. "It hasn't been easy," he says, "but I've learned a lot from this experience." Adams' candid admission provides an important lesson for athletes and fans alike. Sometimes, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. While it's impossible to change the past, Adams' openness about his regrets shows that even the best in the business aren't immune to second-guessing their career decisions. As he continues to push forward, Adams will undoubtedly carry the lessons from his time in Las Vegas as he seeks to find a way back to a winning environment, hoping that his next chapter will bring the fulfillment he once had in Green Bay. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.